Hello, everyone. It's George from Ireland. Well, thank you for coming back to my channel. Donald J. Trump and Vladimirovich Putin were negotiating over the phone the other day. Could they bring this Ukrainian war at least to a temporary close for about 30 days? It hasn't happened so far. Russia's very open that they're keen to end the sanctions, which totally undermines the flagrant lie come out of the Kremlin for the last 11 years that they don't mind sanctions. Sanctions actually boost the economy. Of course they mind them. Why are there counter sanctions? They'll speak out of both sides of their mouth all the time. The most idiotic, blatant lies the Russian government will tell all the time, which proves yet again you must never ever believe a word the Kremlin says. But what was the objective of the sanctions? Now, ideally, to stop the war, to compel Russia to withdraw. But I don't think anyone believed that those on their own would end the war. Obviously, Ukraine's heroics could help do it by repelling the invader, but there've got to be other things by the armaments, the technology given to the Ukrainians to help do this. Now, it has to be a multi-pronged strategy. Now, this holistic strategy could have been successful partly because the economic cost of the war would make it unsustainable, especially given Russia's over-reliance on the export of hydrocarbons. So therefore, they have to tax more, they have to spend less in other areas, making it increasingly impossible to prosecute the war and eventually have to bring it to an end. We know it was semi-effective. I mean, otherwise, in 2014, why not go for a full-scale war? Because Putin tends to dip his toe in the water. He'll cross your red line by an inch, and then another, and then another, and then another. Obviously, there'll be the so-called plausible deniability when you catch him. No, he didn't. Lies, lies, lies. No, you did it yourself. False accusations, stuff like that. But he'll test your resolve, see what can he get away with. And when he crosses the red line by an inch, any reaction seems to some like an overreaction. And by the way, his red lines are very blurry as well. Oh, you can't do this as escalatory, arming Ukraine at the beginning of the war. If you give them fighter jets or tanks or whatever, if the Ukrainians fire them into Russia, if the Ukrainians cross into Russia, all these red lines have been crossed, and he's done nothing that he wasn't doing beforehand. But the sanctions have not brought the war to an end, but they have caused significant economic pain. Put it this way, had there been no sanctions, Russia would have a lot more money to be producing a lot more military technology, paying people even more to join the army, recruiting even more foreign soldiers. They'd have more battlefield success. They might have achieved